In other news, a small medical transport plane crashed into several buildings in the U.S. city of Philadelphia yesterday, killing all 6 people on board and at least 1 other person on the ground. It was carrying a child patient and her mother, along with 2 pilots, a doctor and a paramedic. They were all Mexican nationals. The jet was on a medical transport trip heading to Mexico with a short stopover in Missouri. Just 1 minute after takeoff, the jet plummeted to the ground. Videos show the plane coming down quickly and sparking a huge fireball. Several Philadelphia residents remembered the remembered the horrific incident and mourned victims of plane crash.
It was, like we said, it was dark at the time and instrument conditions. The aircraft climbed to about 1,500 feet above the ground. We were looking at GPS data on the aircraft, a slight right turn followed by a slight left turn, and then a steep descent towards the ground where it crashed. The entire flight lasted less than a minute.
Right now, it's just a lot going. The city right now, it feels the impact. I'm actually trying to check on my cousin. She's on one of these back blocks I'm trying to get to. They got everything blocked off. It's hurting me. And I never heard from her yet. So I just want to make sure she's okay. My heart is racing. There's a lot going on, a lot of emotions.
A lot of people screaming, kids crying, just pieces everywhere on fire. Cars on fire, homes on fire. People, I had a friend that he couldn't go back to his house because he actually lives right there, exactly where the crash happened. And he wasn't allowed back in his home till almost midnight. And he had to be escorted, and they were without power and without electricity pretty much all night. And they probably still are now without any power or heat or anything.
The FAA said it was launching an investigation with the National Transportation Safety Board. Aerial video showed investigators at the scene of the plane crash in Philadelphia. Both the agencies are already probing the deadliest U.S. air disaster in almost a quarter century. And that's after a passenger jet operated by an American Airlines collided with a Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac River. Meanwhile, investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board have determined the CRJ-700 airplane was at 325 feet, plus or minus 25 feet at the time of impact, suggesting that the Army helicopter was flying above 200 feet, which is the maximum altitude for the route it was using. The information was based on data recovered from the jet's flight data recorder, which is the black box that tracks the aircraft's movements, speed and other parameters. Recovery and investigative teams continued their work on Washington, D.C.'s Potomac River 3 days after mid-air collision between a plane and a helicopter that killed 67 people. Divers were searching for the remaining bodies in the frigid Potomac River after having pulled at least 41 from the water.